Hello, and welcome to another super sold out, no vacancy edition of Wrestling is Her. This week, we travel from deep within the prestigious 5-star Grand Prix tournament of Stardom in Japan back to the States for a debut performance of a very Japanese-inspired and, unique, yes, unique, as our jury shall remain out for now. Anyway, a very Joshi US promotion named Sukeban. We also hit all the spots with the ladies getting a 20-minute match in WWE, as well as Chris Statlander putting some respect on the TBS Championship in AEW. As always, I am your host, Raja. He is John, and let's jump right on in with that 20-minute match.
I'm ready for it.
That 20-minute banger of a match between Asuka and Io Sky on this week's edition of WWE Smackdown.
Yeah.
It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fantastic just to have that. If they gave them that much time to go sit and play cards.
Yeah, they give the women that much time, like, for anything on
Pretty excited.
SmackDown. And, of course, Asuka and Io Sky know each other very well, so...
Yeah, and there wasn't even that much chicanery.
No, there wasn't a lot of chicanery, but the end of the match did come about because of chicanery.
Yes, but if we are grading on a curve, well, I think that was a very, very, very light amount.
Yes, it was an extremely light amount. It just ended up with Bayley pulling Io Sky's foot on the rope so that she didn't get counted out, and then Io Sky getting the win and Charlotte getting in there to attack Bayley, which has now led to Charlotte versus Bayley being a thing next week.
Which, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. I mean, honestly, anytime I got Bayley, like two women the level of Bayley and Charlotte.
Yeah, that's always an exciting match to see, especially in singles variety.
Absolutely.
We're excited about that. So Io Sky's still the champion.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
But I don't think this thing with Asuka's over by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't think so either. And if you want to get really good on the story, really good,
right,
and use a little bit of reality and other companies that may exist in the real world,
right,
you could have the fact that Asuka, because obviously Asuka and Stardom are not,
no,
they don't like each other.
No.
Well, I don't think Stardom has ever said anything against Asuka.
Right. No,
but
I don't
obviously
think so.
Asuka went on that, I don't know, that alcohol-inspired rant a few
Bit
weeks
of a
back.
tirade.
Yeah, a little, but the company was created to whatever.
Yes.
I barely read it because I could care less. But
right.
Regardless, Asuka has the relationship with Kairi.
Yes.
Because they had the incredible tag team. Well, I think the tag team did a lot more in our fantasies than it did, because we were like, oh, well, they can do this, they can do this, they can do this.
Right.
They did some.
Yes.
They didn't get as far as we would have hoped, but
things change.
Can totally see where we could have done something with them. But in the fans' minds, when Kairi comes in,
yes,
she can come in, and instantly you have that friendship with Asuka.
Slot her right into this story.
But she has the real story as the fellow daughter of Stardom.
She does, yes. That Io Sky and Kairi do have that connection.
As two of the three.
Who helped save the company.
Yes, that helped save the company when they could have left during the weird times.
Yes.
And they didn't yet. And, but, it's a cool story. They won't tell all that maybe.
Probably
but
not.
They could say, well, they go back a long way from a little indie in Japanese version of high school gyms. They'll say something like that.
Yeah, it would be something super vague. It would be cool to see maybe like you expect Kairi to come in and get with Asuka, but then she like does a swerve and she ends up with on Io's side.
That would be really cool. That would. And if they even said something like they both had dreams of stardom.
just slide it in.
Just something.
It's easy. It's a real word, so you can just fit it in there somewhere.
There's other things that they could, say. That would be awesome. She's on a queen's quest. I mean, it's there.
It's so easy.
It is easy.
It's just there waiting for you.
But one cool thing is allowing a 20-minute match, right? We'll be serious here for a second. the kind of matches that someone the level of EO is used to back in the day, it gives her time to get the match and tell the story properly.
Yes, the way she's used to.
Yeah, the ups, downs, and rounds, the real matches, and show people exactly how good these girls can go.
Yes, and we saw some of that. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited. Hopefully that's leading to that kind of level of a story.
I'd like to see it on a big stage.
Yeah, me too. And I did want Kyrie to debut in the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That would be a cool one.
That seems like the best place for it.
Yeah, even if it's the worst kept secret, I want surprises in Royal Rumble.
Yes.
I just do.
That's what it's for.
I want it to seem like a surprise.
Yeah.
You can go dress up the same lady 4 times. Just tell me it's a different Super Destroyer. You know, it's oh my God, the return of the machines. You know,
that'd be amazing.
It'd be fine. I'd be okay with that.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
speaking of machines, on the Raw side of things, Nia Jax is still on her mission, apparently, to take out as many women as possible.
Yes.
In Raw, because she attacked Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark during their tag team match and caused it to go to a no contest.
Yeah.
She just obliterated all 4 of them.
Right. And I've obviously seen a bunch of negativity about, hey, you don't want to job out your whole roster and all
right.
that. But here's the thing. Okay, if anywhere has proven to have fans with a short-term memory,
right,
it's WWE.
Agreed.
They're very forgiving. It's all about the payoff of this week.
Yes.
They could care less about last week.
Self-contained.
Yeah.
Creature of the week.
Yeah. Let's just get through. I think they know. They have trained them that way.
Yeah. They expect it.
Much like the pile driver sent you to the hospital in Memphis. You can do 2-week stories. You can,
yeah.
You know.
We won't even be thinking about Nia Jax killing everyone here in a couple weeks.
No.
Once they get to whatever storyline that they're working on, which I assume is Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. When she comes back, they alluded to the fact that Rhea Ripley has bruised ribs from her being attacked, and Raquel Rodriguez has whiplash from being attacked.
I don't believe it.
No.
Here's what I think. Bruce Pritchard is a troll.
Right.
Triple H is a troll.
Yes.
And I think that they laugh their collective asses off at the internet community. Okay, the internet community of wrestling fans.
I hope so.
I think that they, honest to God, troll the shit out of them. And that they are like, oh my God, they're saying she does this, so let's put them like they've got injuries. Let's make her dangerous.
Right.
And scary.
Yeah.
So when we want to do an injury angle, people believe it. And they do. Bruce alludes to that on his podcast.
Right.
You know, he alludes to the fact of in modern day wrestling, the old school stuff doesn't work. So how do you still make them believe?
Exactly. Yeah. And there has been talk in the past of Nia Jax having that problem where people get injured.
Okay, here's the deal.
So it plays into the realism.
When you realistically are dangerous and you're not one of the boys, right?
Right.
And one of the boys, folks, is just a term, right? I'm all inclusive with that. So when you're not playing safe,
right,
you don't last.
No.
I don't care what level you are.
It's impossible to keep someone like that around.
Yeah, I don't care what level you are. I don't care. You got to think. These are $1 million to $10 million policies you've got.
Right.
You don't want them not making a card.
No.
So, you know,
that's your money.
If you think about that contractually, you know, and they've got agents. I mean, there's a lot there that's like, no, it's not. I just don't see it happening.
No.
I see it happening accidentally once or twice.
Yeah.
But not someone that's almost intentional.
Right. So why not weave it into this new story where she's injuring everyone on the roster?
Work me. I love to be worked. The Young Bucks do it perfectly.
Yes.
They always put this thing out there like, oh, hey, we're showing you backstage. This is what's happening. This is really what's good. No. They're still giving you a storyline while saying they're showing you behind the curtain.
Yes, exactly. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want story. Give us story of all kinds.
It's perfect. Just some people are smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
there's not very many people smart enough to figure it out.
Which is why we love wrestling.
Yes.
So otherwise, in WWE, we of course have the NXT side of things, where Becky Lynch is still the women's champion. She showed up on NXT this week and was talking about all these people that she wants to give a chance to, but Tiffany Stratton wants her rematch.
Yes.
So after a conversation with the champion, they have officially made Tiffany Stratton versus Becky Lynch in an Extreme Rules match for No Mercy on the 30th of September.
Okay.
So they're going to go at it again for this belt.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Tiffany Stratton can hold her own against Becky Lynch in an Extreme Rules match.
Well, I mean, you talk about injuries.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. They've not had a good run with not being injured on NXT during things like ladder matches. And
right. It gets a little dicey sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's hard to do a match with a gimmick. That possibility is always there. It's still human beings and
yes, and
gimmicks.
If that cage match was anything to go by, Becky Lynch is you got to be careful with her when she's in that environment, because she's going to go all out.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're not ready for it, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
But I'm excited to see that. Of course, that's this upcoming Saturday, the day before WrestleDream. So we got like a jam-packed little weekend, and it's the same day as the Stardom 5 Star Grand Prix final. So we got all kinds of amazing wrestling this weekend.
So much cool wrestling.
But the last thing I want to mention for WWE, where they're concerned, of course, there have been a rash of releases after the making official the UFC ownership of WWE.
And releasing record earnings again. So
yes, of course. But some of the names that they released on the women's wrestling side are people like Aaliyah, Dana Brooke, and Emma, a.k.a. Tennille Dashwood. So there are some women out there in the world now up for grabs.
Yeah, and a lot of NXTs that, don't necessarily have the exposure. The best thing in the world for them would be to go join the indies.
Yeah.
Get some real life.
Yeah, get some experience under your belt and then come back.
Hell, go to Japan. Go through a dojo.
Yeah, do what Mariah May did and just get into that Stardom world if you want to.
The cool thing about it is you work so much and you're in the dojo when you're not working. You really get good pretty quick. Yeah,
you get so much opportunity to just practice. So there's so many shows that you could be on.
If you girls are listening right now, that might be a good opportunity instead of just going and doing, this stuff already.
Cons and stuff.
Put yourself in a position that is uncomfortable. Yeah. Get comfortable at being uncomfortable.
I think Emma would be fantastic in Stardom. I think she'd fit right in.
I think so too. I think that she has just enough. I think her personality works right.
Me too. I think she'd be amazing. I can
actually see that.
Get on that.
She kind of looks like them already.
She does.
And, gimmick wise, so what she's wearing. Personally, she was doing good in Impact.
Yes.
I think that's the shoe-in is to go there. But I do like seeing people women that know how to work, being able to come into AEW as well. Yeah. Because you can never have too many to work with.
New girls.
Yeah, with the new girls and have just a bloated roster, Yeah,
you can never have enough knowledge and expertise behind the scenes.
I'm super excited about the possibility of that. Dana Brooke, I totally see Impact.
Yeah, she's a knockout. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she could excel there.
Me too.
Because they talk about how much passion she's always had for making it. You put that much passion there.
Yeah, you're gonna do something big.
I think they'll give her the platform to do what she wants to do. And Aaliyah, she's been injured a lot, so I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's up in the air. It's all up in the air. We're just spitballing here.
Yeah, but I would like to see Emma. I mean, Emma can go anywhere at this point. But I would like to see her go, she's been Ring of Honor roster before.
She has.
On proper Ring of Honor.
She'd be great in Ring of Honor too.
With her going back to doing the Ring of Honor roster, that would be interesting.
It would be. It'll be interesting to see where, if anywhere, these girls end up. I hope that they do continue their pro wrestling dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And don't get discouraged.
Absolutely. The good thing about now is there is so many places to work.
There are. So you're spoiled for choice.
Yes.
Honestly. So let's move on to some AEW. We're going to talk about Grand Slam.
Hell yeah.
Which happened on the 20th on Wednesday. And we had a women's world championship match between Toni Storm and Saraya.
How about Toni Storm?
How about Toni Storm and her completely black and white walk to the ring entrance?
I love seeing everybody getting on the Toni train. You know, it's really taken Storm. But it's really just, you know, went out and everybody seems to have come into it at the same time. Like everybody's loving universally what Toni's doing, loving the character. It's like I talked about it weeks ago on here. When you see somebody finally find their proper character, it's so beautiful.
It is. It like brings the entire wrestling world together. And because everyone agrees.
Everybody knows. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what your likes are, what your dislikes are. When you see the proper character, you know, and it happened at the same time with Juice.
Right, yeah.
That was what was so crazy.
It's almost simultaneous with those two.
Yeah.
It's like they sat at home and had notes and they're like just practicing on each other and like discussing stuff.
And we saw something else like that this week too. So, but yeah, good job. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yes. So this match was so good and it was like everything that you hope it's going to be. There was a moment where Toni wanted to hug Saraya, but that just turned into them slapping the crap out of each other. Toni pulled shoes out from under the ring.
Of course.
To throw at Saraya. There was an amazing sunset flip powerbomb off the top from Saraya on Toni. And this all culminated in Toni exposing this turnbuckle like she did it All In.
Yes.
And putting Saraya up against it. But she kept getting distracted by Ruby, who was on the outside, which has been a running theme with these two.
Oh, the whole time.
And she was going to use the spray paint, but Ruby stole it. And Toni ended up getting hit with the nightcap and kicking out, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And once they got towards the finish, Toni caught Saraya's foot on a kick, gently set it down, and then kissed Saraya right on the lips.
Yes. Which was, that was interesting in with us watching.
It was. There was a moment of silence, I think.
Yeah.
Where we just both blanked out.
Raja tipped her 40 for her homies, and yeah, that was...
Oh, goodness. But anyway, after the kiss, she hit Saraya with the Storm Zero, which Saraya kicked out of. Another amazing moment. And then Toni tuned up the sweet cheek music, said the I love you, but got reversed into a nightcap. Yeah. For Saraya to grab the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great match.
It was so good.
I love what they did. I love the build up for it. You know, I even like Toni not getting it yet. It felt like it would have been great right then. But I think that Saraya needs to keep it a little bit longer, man. It would seem like such a waste that we just did the all-in thing. I want her to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely leading up to something really big with her having this title. Of course, my hope is that it eventually involves Mercedes.
Right.
But we don't know if it's going that way.
Fantastic if it did.
That would be the ultimate story beat, I think, with Saraya's title run.
Absolutely. And while we're speaking of Saraya, you know, she put out on social media that her gear has gone missing.
Yes.
She didn't say stolen, but she said it's gone missing and asked the fans to please be on the lookout. Yes. Any of the auction sites or anything, which oddly enough, I read this story about some of her stuff showing up on a Facebook marketplace, but some of her old stuff, like NXT stuff and everything. And it was saying that they got it in her storage unit that had not been paid for.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So,
but I did see on Twitter where she was like, not the stuff from when I was 19, like this stuff, like all her black and green and stuff that she's been wearing in AEW.
Yeah, well, this stuff is the stuff when she was 19.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to be on Pawn Stars coming up.
Oh.
Like where they bid on this. And
that's cool.
There it is. They found all this crap. And
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Weird timing.
This whole story is really weird.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Dynamite and like Toni Storm comes out with all of her gear or something.
I mean, that'd be fantastic.
It would be funny.
Yeah.
But if it is really missing, I feel bad for her because I mean, wrestling gear is like sacred.
Well, yeah, but you know, it's weird.
It has been very strange
because it really didn't say what she thought happened to it, or
right. I mean, all of it.
Where would they have stole it from? You know,
right?
Her house or the AEW locker room.
She just carry like 4 or 5 sets of gear on her at all times.
I mean, most people do.
It's weird, but I guess we'll see what comes out of that. If you happen to see anything, you know who to contact.
I mean, I had only done managing for like 5-6 years, and I remember at the time I still kept my gear
right
in my bag at all times.
I mean, just in case.
Yeah. And so I mean
that and the baby powder. I mean, you gotta have everything.
All right. Let's see.
All right. So AEW Rampage Grand Slam. Of course, we had a big old 2-hour show. The first instance of women's action on this show was a intergender 6-man match.
Yes.
Where Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy, and Hook took on Anna Jay, Daddy Magic, and Angelo Parker.
Yes.
And just a fun match.
Very fun match.
It was enjoyable. And of course, Chris and Anna have kind of been going at each other. But this didn't really culminate in anything. It was just for fun, I think. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
The whole thing was good fun.
It was a good match. And also, I have to jump a little bit, man. Was there anything else on Rampage?
Yes, we had Julia Hart versus Sky Blue.
I can't believe I forgot about
on Rampage.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Julia Hart, who has been on a winning streak with 25 wins under her belt in a row.
Winning streak is like, it's been the quietest winning streak of all time.
It has been. Like, she's just been sneaking them in there.
Like, all of a sudden, you're like, 25 and, oh my God.
It's like, oh, is it Orange Cassidy?
Yeah,
what?
Right? and she's gotten so much better over time.
She's definitely been working on her stuff.
I can still see hesitation time to time, you know, but
she's still young.
But she's gotten so much better. So
yes, I love Julia Hart. I love her coming out with Brody King in tow as kind of her bodyguard / manager position,
right?
And during her matches, and I just love how vindictive she is. She's scary.
Yeah, no, she does it really well.
And beating Sky Blue is a big deal.
It is
recently.
It is.
Sky has been on a run recently.
I wasn't expecting it to be that clean.
Me either. I was expecting shenanigans. We got shenanigans on Collision, but not here. Not on Rampage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But she got the win. She started beating up Sky Blue, and Willow Nightingale ran out. They were supposed to have a match on Collision, but Julia ended up facing Kiera Hogan, yeah. So, because something happened to Willow, she got attacked backstage and got misted by Julia. Apparently, they have no footage of that.
Yes,
but it happened.
She'll be okay this coming week.
Yes, and to kind of drive home that sentiment, Julia Hart did use the mist on Kiera Hogan in this match, and Sky Blue came out to save her. She's facing Chris Statlander. Julia Hart is facing Chris Statlander at WrestleDream for the TBS title, which is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to see what she does on that kind of stage.
Right.
With some time into a huge match. This is the biggest match of her career.
With a huge opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest match of her career. I'm sure Chris can absolutely lead that to, something really, really good. And
I think so too.
I'm looking forward to that. I really want to see what she can do, because normally you don't get those kind of opportunities. They try it out, or you get another big time match going into it.
Right, but she's going straight into a title match on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
A big pay-per-view. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. A work rate
pay-per-view.
Yeah, definitely. So, this is not the pay-per-view where you want to be phoning it in.
Yeah, no, it's not a gimmick pay-per-view. So
no.
Very much a work rate pay-per-view. You're surrounded by greatness the whole night. Mm-hmm. It'll stick out like a sore thumb if you suck it up. So,
but maybe House of Black is,
and I think we might be getting some more. I would imagine we'll get another women's match announced.
I hope so. I hope that Saraya has something to do on WrestleDream. That would be amazing and fantastic.
And I'd hope that we might get a debut on WrestleDream.
Oh, there has been some hearsay about that.
Yeah, the rumor mill is
it's turning.
It's a buzz right now about Miss Mariah May.
She has been putting out some tweets about how
daily
this September 30th, the final of the 5-star, is a big night for her, and how people will find out why very soon, and that's the night before WrestleDream.
Yes. So she'll be jet lagged as hell.
Yes, there is plenty of time for her to make it from Japan to Seattle in time for WrestleDream. I don't think she's going to have a match there yet, but to make an appearance of any kind would be fantastic. And I would be so happy to see her make it into AEW.
Me too.
Someone's been watching.
It's perfect because she is so good, folks. If you haven't watched Mariah May, go out of your way. Stardom World. She's been in the tournament, and you can see all her matches and the stuff she's done with Mina Shirakawa. It's just really, really great.
And honestly, she fills a void we have in AEW where we don't really have that pretty pink fighting princess thing going on in AEW. Everyone's like, she's still a badass, but everyone's doing like the Billy Badass gimmick.
She's a badass, but she's also a singer and dancer.
She's beautiful and wonderful. We love her.
She's got everything.
I can't wait.
She's got everything. And the thing I love about her is she's custom made for WWE, but she's custom made for AEW.
Yes.
Because of the work and the brutality. And
one would think that they'll put her into the Chris Statlander storyline. Yeah. That's where I could see her showing up after that match.
I would bring her in and push her right off the bat.
Yeah.
And just show videos of what she is. And
because she's incredible.
Yeah. And
people are going to see it.
And she's so talented on the stick.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot you could do right off the bat when it's done correctly.
Yeah.
So
one more thing about AEW, another woman who has been impressing us as of late, CJ Perry.
Yes.
On Collision this week had a little backstage interview. She's so good.
She is. It's funny because as Lana, I never got this feeling. Like I never got done with a Lana promo and said, boy, that was great.
Right.
That was just the chops on this girl.
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the CJ Perry interaction with Miro, it was fantastic.
It was so perfectly husband and wife. I loved it so much.
Her timing, her facials, everything about it was so great. And I love the role because she's sort of commanding.
Yeah.
And,
she's a natural talent.
Absolutely. Kind of like controlling the husband in ways. And,
Well, she wants Miro not to touch anyone that she ends up managing, which leaves the question who she's going to end up managing. But, Miro's he's going to get jealous.
Oh, man.
He's going to go after whoever that is with a vengeance.
So I hope it's Keith Lee.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I think it would be really cool for Keith's career right now. To a resurgence.
Yeah.
And have her as Keith's mouthpiece.
Yeah, because, she's great at it.
And, I think it'd be really, really good. I think, can you imagine a really highbrow Keith Lee Miro feud?
No, but I want to.
That'd be awesome.
Talk about meat.
Talk about meat. But I have a feeling it might be going back to Hobbs. I think that...
Yeah, I thought that too.
Hobbs needs it.
Because I don't think we're done with the Hobbs thing.
Hobbs can talk, don't get me wrong. But I think it'd be better if he didn't.
Yeah. And he's separated from QT now, so...
I've got this thing for monsters, and I don't think they should ever talk.
But it worries me because, would a wife go directly to your biggest rival?
Yes.
If you were renouncing her?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
The women in my life, all the women in my life, would absolutely go to the most hurtful, incredibly, but not to hurt me, to make me wake up. And to make me
be like, do you see now what you're missing?
Right. Do you see what you're missing? What could be? Am I really so distracting that you can't be with me, or am I more distracting when I'm not with you?
Right.
And I can see the first match, her turn.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be long.
And be with Miro.
Yeah. She does have a reputation for representing monsters.
And then she'll be in control, and she'll switch from sort of the babyface role she's in now to be the heel, and he'll almost be the victim. I
love that.
And I think that would be perfect because then you could see the manipulation that she has created.
Right.
And you're like, my God, he is putty. This is why he had to get away.
So she came all the way to AEW because he had escaped her grasp. And she is not okay with that.
No, she is not okay with it.
She's going to get him back and make him do her bidding.
Exactly. Exactly.
Get the gold.
She has to have control.
I love that. I hope that happens.
And so I think that she's going to prove her
She's
point.
a great heel. So.
Oh, she is. She is.
She's great at anything, apparently.
I think it's waiting. I think it's just waiting to happen.
We'll see. We'll see. So before we jump into Stardom, we want to talk really quick about a premiere that happened this week on the 21st.
Yes.
Sukeban had its first show.
Sukeban!
In New York. And it was an event.
Yes.
It was very different.
And you've been waiting for this so much.
I have.
Such a big deal for you. And
yes. I'm not going to go through this detail by detail.
Right.
It's on YouTube on the Sukeban _world YouTube page. Mm-hmm. You can watch it. It's only an hour and a half long.
And please watch it there.
Yes.
There are some people that have the feeds up. Mm-hmm. Just watch it through Sukeban.
Yes, watch it through the official channel. It's all on there. It's not very long, and it's entertaining. But I want to hit some of the high points of what happened on this premiere show. There were some really good matches. My favorite match was Midnight Player versus Stray Cat. These two really put on like an exhibition match, and it was one of only 2 singles matches on the whole card. But of course, Stray Cat is unaffiliated. And after this match, Midnight Player kind of made a play like, hey, you want to join the Vandals? But she wasn't having that. It seems like she's kind of being placed as like one of the bigger baby faces in this little company. And she can't be caught by anyone.
Right.
She's Stray now and forever.
Right.
And speaking of which, the music. They every faction had its own theme song. And of course, Stray Cats was Stray Cat Strut.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so you heard the same theme songs quite a bit because it's faction theme songs. I don't think that bothers me as bad when it's like original music.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going to have to get some original
they're going to
music.
get sued.
Yeah.
I don't think they bought the rights to Danzig.
Probably not. But there was a lot of more entertaining moments in this. There were comedy bits and things like that, almost more than the wrestling focus. And this whole production definitely focuses more on the design of the product and what everyone's wearing and how everyone looks and the appearance of things than it does the more technical wrestling side, because that's what they're going for. They're going for a very outlandish sort of unique feel for everything. That's why they got designers to work on costumes, and they wear costumes, not so much gear as costumes.
Yeah, no.
On the belt, on the nails, they had designer nails.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything was, I could see where they were going.
Yes.
I could see absolutely where they were going, the passion of where they were going. Mm-hmm. A couple of things. I know that we're positive about everything. This is not meant in negative.
Right.
This is just observations that could improve the product.
Right.
I love Veda Scott.
Yes.
I absolutely love Veda Scott. But you're presenting a Japanese promotion in America. Mm-hmm. So if you're not going to have just straight Japanese commentary, which would be okay with most people, because most people that are getting that presentation, they're just happy that it's in the States and they can go see it live.
Right.
They kind of like having that presentation. Like when New Japan comes and does a tour here, they still have their ring announcer.
Yes.
And it's got that cool feel. You feel like you're maybe in Japan, it's like for this little moment.
you're in Japan watching Japanese wrestling.
You can pretend. I never want them to cater to us.
Yeah.
I want us to have to learn them.
Right. I understand that.
And, that's just me maybe, but it's a certain authenticity that I think that we do lose. Even New Japan, when they come here in America and they have Ian Rockaboni or something, out there, it loses something. No matter how good the commentator is, it loses something in that translation. Even sometimes with my man Kevin, I love you, Kevin Kelly. Listen, I love you. But sometimes, as great as he is, we turn it over sometimes to the Japanese commentary.
Yes.
And that's just for that authenticity's sake or whatever. So that's a little thing. That's a minor thing. But what would make it a major thing, I'm not a big fan of David McClain from the Glow times, but a person like David McClain, if you had the gimmick commentator,
right,
that is also doing his part.
Yes, part of the story.
And he's just like, oh, I don't know. I was in the back and, she was very scary to me, and blah, 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 blah. Really just play up those characters to that extent. It doesn't matter that you're calling the hold. Go listen to Vince McMahon from the 80s. Tell me how many holds he calls. Whoa, what a maneuver.
Right.
It's more him telling the story of what's happening, him telling the character of what's happening.
Yes, we want more of a narrator.
Yeah.
To someone that maybe shouldn't be witnessing this story that's going on, but they are, and they're going to tell us what's happening.
Sometimes it even happens when we watch, like AEW and stuff. I've picked that out. Sometimes I'm like, what is the difference in this and the presentation on the other one? And sometimes I think it might be going move by move by move by move.
Right.
Isn't what we need.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay
to branch out
just
a
to say,
little.
well, that was an amazing maneuver. He's really angry. He's been angry this whole time, blah, 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 blah.
You have to put the emotion and the story in it so that people buy in.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And not everybody cares that it was a triple somersault backflip.
Right. And of course, they did try to talk about the differences in the factions and like the dangerous liaisons or the bad guys. They wouldn't talk to them backstage. Right. They wouldn't give them any interviews or anything. Right. But it all kind of fell a bit short of my expectations.
Right.
I'm holding my breath here. I'm waiting. Well, I'm going to watch.
They got to get rid of the designers.
Yes, okay. You need actual wrestling gear that's made to wrestle
I felt bad for Soriano, so bad.
Yes.
Because the whole time she's pulling her top up and pulling her pants out of her butt.
Yes,
and
she was not comfortable.
It wasn't made for wrestling. And the thing is, designers are great, but you may want wrestling gear makers as well.
Yeah, they don't understand the dynamics of like the movements you have to do in a ring as well as gear makers and the kind of fabrics you need to use and all of that good stuff. And some people in this show seem like they were struggling with what they were wearing. It hindered their movement a lot more than it should have. One of the other cool things that happened, of course, was Bull Nakano showed up as the commissioner of Sukeban, just quite surprisingly, out of
looking
nowhere.
like the snake lady.
Yes, she had like Bride of Frankenstein hair.
She had like the old school Japanese kung fu, So it seems like she owned the block and she has all the,
Yes.
That's what it seemed like to me.
She did seem that way. She had the belt with her. It's very stylized belt with pictures from like Japanese wrestling history on it, also created by a designer. But she said that this belt would be contended by the winner of the main event at the next show, which ended up being Ichigo Sayaka, and she will be facing Commander Nakajima at the following Sukeban show for the very first women's champion of Sukeban.
And listen, first show, bravo. You had a lot of viewers on TikTok. I think, some people enjoyed that, so most didn't.
Mm-hmm. We didn't watch it live.
Most people wanted it to be somewhere they could
if you have a YouTube, just stream it on YouTube.
So
it's much easier for everyone.
So that was Sukeban.
Yes, we'll watch the next show. We'll see what changes they implement after having learned. This was their first show. They're going to learn some things.
We're there for the ladies.
Yes, we are. We saw a lot of our favorites. So that brings us to proper pro wrestling in Japan, Stardom. We have watched 4 more nights of the Stardom 5-star Grand Prix.
Yes, we have.
Because they took so long to upload the 18th that it just ran into the 20th. So.
It did, and we had to do the 20th. That's why we took a little longer this time.
Oh, yes.
Because of, we'll get there.
Because of reasons.
We'll get there.
But we're going to start off with September 16th in Fukuoka.
Yes.
And we started this show with Mei Seira taking on Waka Tsukiyama in a singles match. A nice, rare singles match to start us off.
Love you, Mei.
And this was a lot of fun. Of course, Waka was trying to use her Club Venus influence on Mei with her hip attacks and being Waka. There was a lot of forearms trading and stretching. Waka does this stretch that I love where she's just sitting on you and pulling your arms back. It's like you have to take all of her weight and she's going to stretch your arms.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Waka, she gives it, her all. The thing is, when you're in there with someone like Mei.
Oh, yeah.
The speed difference. And I love that fact. I love that she is undersized to everyone, but she finds a way to counteract it with her speed.
Yes, always.
And
she's always one step ahead, literally.
And she's got to be one of the fastest people I've ever seen in a ring.
Absolutely. And this match only lasted about 6 minutes, and Mei Seira came out with the win using the Rolling Star, which is just a brutal move.
Yes, absolutely.
After that, we saw Ruaka, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid take on Saya Iida, Hanan, and Koguma. And Koguma came out here wanting a big bear party because they're in her home of Fukuoka.
Yes.
And as soon as she said this, Oedo Tai got off the side of the ring. They got so out funny. Of the ring.
It was so classic Oedo Tai. They were just like, nope.
Yeah, it absolutely was. But she managed to grab Starlight Kid and pull her back into the ring and have her bear party with Starlight Kid doing tiger ears, which was really cute. But there were a lot of really cool moments in this match between Starlight Kid and Hanan. Hanan got actually a lot of good moves and showed off a lot of stuff in this match that I loved. But it only lasted about 8 minutes and ended with the crossface chicken wing from Momo Watanabe for the win.
And Hanan's another one. Listen, man, Hanan she's come so far. Just over the summer, it really feels to me that she has really turned it up a few notches. She's laying her stuff in. There's a lot less daylight. She's got something about her, seems like a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, she's definitely got more of that passion.
Yeah,
which we love to see.
There you go.
But Momo Watanabe, she's hard to deny when she's got that crossface chicken wing on you.
Absolutely.
Next, we saw Megan Bayne and Suzu Suzuki take on Hanako and Utami Hayashishita. So, of course, we love seeing Megan and Hanako together.
We do.
For the big girl stuff.
Yes, the big girl stuff. We mean that with all the love.
Yes, absolutely. But Megan was on top of it in this match. She had those chops going,
yes,
the big boots going everywhere. And she actually ended the match by getting a choke bomb on Hanako instead of going the other way around with Utami.
Yeah,
so that was impressive.
Absolutely. They really became the story of this match.
They did.
Very little in the way of Utami and Suzu.
Yeah, it was we were just okay, let's see Megan and Hanako. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready for that singles match, man.
Me too. And I love Hanako's involvement recently with Queen's Quest. Of course, we talked about how she already kind of looks like she belongs in Queen's Quest.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where they're going, but I wouldn't be mad.
She's going to be a star.
Absolutely. So after that, we got a 3-way tag team match where Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May took on Yuna Mizumori and Saori Anu and Mirai and Saki Kashima.
Yes.
And this kind of started a little fun time of these triple tag team matches across these 3 days. Saki was being really weird to start this match with Saori Anu.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, though.
You can go ahead and say what you mean by weird.
She just seemed like she was really starstruck and she didn't want to do anything to upset Saori. She was being very
starstruck's
congenial.
One way of putting it.
She seemed in love.
Yes, and that's not the first time. So we know how Saki.
Yeah, we
feels.
Do. Yes, but it was funny because Saki and Saori were ignoring Mina at the beginning of this match. They were just paying complete attention to each other until Saki tricked Mina and Saori into a test of strength and just got the heck out of Dodge.
And Saori has amazing comedic chops.
She does.
She's done a lot of comedy. Mm-hmm. She's done a lot of comedy specials. The Fest specials.
Yes.
Are hilarious.
Yes, the Renmaru Festa.
Oh my God.
You just need to look it up on YouTube.
Oh.
Okay? Trust us.
This one from 2017. It is 2017, right? There's one from 2017 that is just classic.
It's hilarious.
Nasapoi's in it, Saori Anu, and
yes.
It's just so good. It doesn't even matter that that one's not subtitled or you don't understand what they're saying. You can just
you get it.
You just get it. And it's so funny that honestly I've watched it several times. It's hilarious. Yes. But even with Sukeban, she's got some great chops to her. So
she does, yes. But if you have never heard of the Renmaru Festa, please just YouTube it.
Yeah, you'll thank us later.
So in this match, there was a really funny moment where everyone had triangle chokes on with the legs to the throats, and Saki ran over everyone, and Mirai was, of course, like, why did you step on me?
Yeah.
We're on the same
That's some of my favorite stuff that she does with her team.
Yes, but there were just a lot of misfiring and backfiring in this match. Mirai accidentally hit Saki with a lariat, but it didn't matter because Saki rolled up the Kishikasai in about 8 minutes for the win. She loves that move. She just throws it on everyone.
It was good stuff, though.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. That brought us into the tournament matches for tonight. We started off with Amisori versus Tam Nakano, and this was, in a lot of ways, very similar to the match Amisori had with Mayu Iwatani, where she had control for a lot of the match because she's the stronger, more vicious one.
So strong.
Yeah, so she got all of those chops in. Those chops. Lord have mercy, Amisori's chops.
Yeah, she is another one who has really blossomed and over the past few months especially.
Yeah, definitely. But Tam kept up with her for the most part. She did get very desperate at the end and had to do this combo where she did a spin kick and then a suplex and then a running knee, and Amisori kicked out at one.
Yes.
And it was crazy. But she managed to get some more kicks off and hit a butterfly suplex for the win. And Tam Nakano did go to 9 points because of winning this match. But there was a sweet moment at the end after the bell rang where they had a hug. And I think Amisori was very upset about losing. Obviously, this is the match that eliminated her from contention in winning the tournament. But it also kind of seemed like she was grateful to Tam for, having this amazing match with her, which I love. And Tam gave her that smile that Tam gives.
Yes,
Tam is.
She does. After she's beaten your ass to pulp.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is the sweetest thing in the world. She is a nightmare demon.
She is.
And I love her so much.
Yes, we love her. We do.
We do.
After that, we got to see Natsupoi versus Hazuki.
Yes. Dear God.
And of course, we talked about how big of a match this was for Hazuki in particular, because it's in Fukuoka. She needed to win it in order to stay on top and have a chance of winning. So they went, I think they both understood that, and they went just take no prisoners right from the start.
This was totally insane. I was expecting what happened. Mm-hmm. But I could never have expected what happened.
Yeah, no, there was a spot near the beginning where Hazuki went for her face wash move and she missed it, but then she managed to get it and just started kicking Natsupoi so disrespectfully in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And we were affronted, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, this was violence at another level of violence.
Yeah, I mean, you had stuff like Natsupoi throwing drop kicks while she's on the top rope, dives to the outside, Hazuki getting back in the ring and drop kicking Natsupoi right in the face.
And that's the thing about Hazuki. I mean, she is cool and sweet and everything until she isn't.
Yes.
And, I really want to see her back to 2019. Mm-hmm. I want to see her even in that. I want to see her back leading Oedo Tai. I want her.
You want her back on the bad side.
Black gear, freaking, because it seemed like she's so happy at that.
She did seem very natural in that time period.
Totally natural.
Yeah, but I mean, Natsupoi was very desperate to get control in this match. She even did her release German suplex twice in a row, but Hazuki managed to get one over on her. She hit a code breaker out of the corner, then a senton and the brainbuster for the win in 12 minutes and 29 seconds.
Fantastic match.
Oh, it was brutal.
So fantastic of a match. Really go out of your way to see it. Poi kills me because I want Poi to win so badly.
Yeah.
But Hazuki winning makes all the sense in the world.
We talked about wanting Hazuki to win this match, and then the match starts and we're like, Natsupoi, you could do it.
Yeah. I mean, she gets me in the feels, man.
Me too.
She really does.
Yeah.
I want her to win so bad. She's got so much passion, so much fighting spirit.
She does. You just want to root for her. I mean, every time she's in the ring, she's just Natsupoi.
It's infectious.
It is.
It really is. And, it's...
We wanted the revolution.
I think we're good. I mean, I don't think this is over because I do believe, and I'll wait on my judgment on Poi. I do think we have a big Poi moment coming up.
Right. Yeah, well, after the match, Hazuki talked about how it was really tough to get this win, but she won because of the support of her hometown crowd. And then she asked everyone to support Maika in the main event because Maika is also from Fukuoka.
Yes.
So our main event was Maika versus Azumi. And Azumi she just hit 0 to 60 in like no time at all. Talk about fast wrestlers. Azumi has to be up there with May and Starlight, and like those three alone are ridiculously speedy
and talented.
Yes, absolutely. But these two really gave it all they got. Azumi was kind of the underdog in this match because of Maika's size and power, and she targeted the arm a lot because she gets that arm bar on you and you're finished. So she went after Maika's arm. Maika used her power to throw Azumi around basically the entire match. And eventually she got a couple slams on Azumi and managed to get the Michinoku driver too in what was only just under a 9-minute match.
Very strange.
For the win.
It felt like it never got to that second gear.
Yeah, it was definitely beneath Hazuki and Natsupoi as like a main event level match because that one was full of drama and feelings.
Yeah.
But this one was still really good, and Maika managed to get the win in the main event in her hometown. And she did say she wants more singles matches with Azumi, which I support.
I feel like if that match had been any other night, any other place, it would have felt like more. Mm-hmm. But following what we had just seen,
yeah,
we had both just had a passion injection.
Yes. I think these two were like, oh, we're not going to follow that, so we'll just do what we can.
Yeah. Do your best.
Do your best. So that brings us to the next night, September 17th, in Saga for the very first time.
Yes.
Which is so cool.
Saga was really cool.
It was cool, yes. And we started out with another singles match where Hanako took on Saya Ida. And I loved this match because it was big girls doing big girl stuff.
Yeah.
Where Hanako is like a foot taller than Saida.
Maybe more than a foot.
But Saida is so strong.
Yeah.
So she's able to keep up with Hanako in doing that stuff. But of course, Hanako has those things like the big boot into the stomp to the face and all of that. So she did get some over on Saida in this match. But in the end, Saida was able to pull out the win with the modified stretch plum in around 7 minutes.
Yeah, but still, there was times when it felt like Hanako was going to win this.
It did, yeah. I absolutely expected it.
They do a really great job with her, and even though she's given up, dude, everybody gives up size to her almost. There's like one person that doesn't,
it's like Megan.
So she's got, we said it earlier, such a bright future.
Yes. There was a move she did in this match, I just want to point out, where Saida was coming at her, jumped, and Hanako kicked her out of midair.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Beautiful. It was beautiful because it caught her in midair and she just went a different trajectory.
Yes. It was like a pounce with your foot.
Yes.
But there was a nice little show of respect after this match. They got some fist bumps in there. It was cute. Yes. So after that, we saw Ruaka and Starlight Kid versus Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa versus Azumi and Utami Hayashishita. So another triple, tag team match there.
Three-way dance tags.
And they started it out with Azumi and Starlight Kid, which is always, fun.
Oh, man, it's just talking about getting you in the feels.
Yes. There was a fun spot where they were in the Romero special and Azumi slunk in between for the pin.
Yes.
So they had to get out of it really quick.
That was great. That was a great spot. I mean, just being held up. I don't think I've ever seen someone just slide in and start doing a pinfall from that.
Yeah, no, it's smart.
Yeah.
They're trapped.
Absolutely.
We got to see lots of fun team up moments and all that and turning on each other immediately afterwards. But eventually Starlight Kid got the win with the Black Tiger leg kill in 6.5 minutes.
And it was really good for the time it had.
Yes, it was very fast paced. But after this match, Starlight Kid grabbed the mic and brought up Azumi's 10th anniversary, which is coming up soon.
Right.
So she suggested that Azumi should face Starlight Kid for her 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
And she agreed to that, but she didn't want to do a singles match. She suggested a tag team match, so we're going to get Azumi and Utami Hayashishita versus Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe for her 10th anniversary match.
Which will be great. Yeah. You know that it will be. 10th anniversary, will be going all out. It's hard to believe that we can be at her 10th anniversary.
Yeah, already.
Because
she's 21.
She's 21 years old, exactly. So
Utami just had her 5-year anniversary.
It's nuts.
It is. It's insane, and I'm so happy for her, and that match is going to be fire.
And I'm hoping we get to see her, going just as hard when she's 35. I mean,
me too. 10 more years.
It's exciting to me that we've got a good decade of just complete high speed ready to go.
Yeah, me too. So after that, we saw Megan Bayne and Micah teaming up, a little preview of their tag league team to take on Yuna Mizumori and Tam Nakano.
I've noticed them trying to shoehorn those tag league teams.
Yes, they're giving us little hints here and there. Tam and Megan started this match out with Tam just trying to kick the legs, chop down the tree,
right.
That kind of thing. But it was all for naught because it's Megan Bayne and Micah.
Right.
And you've got Yuna Mizumori in there doing her best.
Dude.
Absolute best.
Do your best. But Micah and Megan, Jesus Christ.
They seem unstoppable.
They really do.
As a team.
It seems very road warrior. Road warrior. There you go. Don't even have to say anymore.
I agree.
Yes.
But Megan got the win with the choke bomb in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Maybe maybe other people were talking about how often she used the F5 or something, but she's cultivated this new
I like it
finisher.
better.
I do too. It's unique. It's like double choke into a power bomb.
Yeah. I used to do it.
It's unique in Stardom.
It is.
That 5 was too, I guess.
I did it 22 years ago.
After that, we got a bit of a crazy random match where we saw a high-speed 5-way between Mei Seira, Koguma, Hazuki, Natsupoi, and Saki Kashima.
Okay, say it again. Slower.
Okay.
I want people to understand how excited we were for this match.
Okay. We had a high-speed 5-way between Mei Seira,
right,
Koguma,
oh wow,
Hazuki,
oh my goodness,
Natsupoi,
yes,
and Saki Kashima.
Oh my God.
The high-speed champion.
So we were very excited about this. You talk about shenanigans.
There were so many.
All the shenanigans. I feel robbed, and I will be a little negative for once. This match could have been so much.
It could have been a lot more. They definitely went the fun route with it, with Saki running over everyone in the chokes again and getting up on stage, Saki grabbing her belt and running off and being chased by Mei because they have their championship match coming up. FWC teaming up together like they do to take on Natsupoi, but eventually Koguma, she had a brain blast, I guess. She heard the ref counting from the ring while everyone was on stage, and she ran back to the ring.
Which sets that up.
It does.
I mean, it sets up her and Saki.
Yes, it sets up Mei and Saki really well. Koguma managed to get back in and kick everyone out so that everyone got counted out. So Koguma won this match.
Right.
And I don't know if a count-out victory counts as a win over the champion. But Koguma might have a future high-speed match.
I thought she already had one.
She did.
Okay.
She did already have one.
Yeah. Okay.
But she got this win. So that was fun. It was very short, but fun. That leads into our 5-star matches, starting with Momo Watanabe versus Hanan.
Which
is, Momo being Momo and Hanan trying so hard just to keep up and push back against Momo Watanabe's kicks and brutality that she always has in the ring.
There was so many close times.
There were. We were on the edge of our seat.
Yeah, truly. This one, more than any, Hanan really...
She did. She had a lot of close calls, and it didn't help that Ruaka and Starlight Kid were on the outside.
Right.
Helping, throwing her into chairs, like interfering the whole time.
Right.
And eventually, Hanan couldn't do it. I mean, Momo got the win with the Hida Tanahashi driver.
It just felt like at times that she was going to be able to steal this one.
She did.
And I would have been there for it. I mean, I love what Momo's done in the tournament. But
I don't think it would have taken anything away from Momo Watanabe if Hanan had gotten like a slip over win real quick. She lasted 11 minutes.
Yeah, she did really well. I mean, she won in defeat in this one.
She did, yeah. She looked really good.
She did.
And Momo's really mad anyway because, she's eliminated and she's lost a bunch of matches. So yeah, she's just on her mood right now.
Yeah, she's mad at everything. Anyway.
After that, we saw Mirai versus Mariah May.
My God.
And, of course, Mariah May has been doing spectacularly.
She has.
In this tournament. And I was kind of hoping she would pull this one out and she can't have really a Wonder of Stardom championship match if she's not here.
I think maybe, I don't think she knew. I don't think they knew or she knew that she was leaving, if I just had to guess, when the tournament started. I really don't. I think that when the tournament started, the matches that she had went a little bit extra at the very end, and she did have that chance of winning. And it seems like in the last couple of weeks, ever since she's been hinting, that she's also been losing.
Yes, she has, absolutely. And there's a big tell in some of these matches where Mariah just can't get that outside power bomb off.
Right.
That people have been escaping it, and it's kind of working against her. But they gave everything. There were sling blades, there were lariats, there were chops, there were crazy drop kicks, but Mariah eventually got a lariat, which Mariah kicked out of.
Yes.
Got another lariat for the finish.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And like you said, it's kind of funny because she had that critical acclaim from that power bomb outside.
Yes, she did.
That first time. And then we got to see it a couple of more times, but it really is, she does more than any other Stardom girl have her match.
Yes, she does.
I can see her match in my head. She has her spots. You don't really get that. I know they all have their spots, but I think the placement is different with most of the Stardom roster.
Right. Mariah kind of has an order about it.
She does.
Chops, lick the hand, chop, go upside down in the corner, flip them out.
Very much like a Ric Flair type thing. Like, kind of what you're going to get. She does surprise you. I mean, she did a Frankensteiner earlier.
Yeah.
I mean,
she pulls something out of it every now and then. But there was a funny moment after this match where Mariah May wanted to shake Mariah's hand, and Mariah looked like she was going to go for it, but then she did the psych thing.
Yeah, she did, which is a big Japanese thing, by the way.
She's hilarious.
In the wrestling.
So that took Mariah to 8 points. We're finally getting people out of the 6 point area here.
Oh, yeah. They're dropping like flies.
And then we got to see Suzu Suzuki take on Ami Sourei.
Yes.
And this was a little different than the matches Ami Sourei has been having. As of late, I think Suzu really matched her ferocity and power in this match and gave her a little more than she bargained for.
What for? What she gave her?
A little bit, yes. But Suzu gave her more than she bargained for, because at 10 minutes into this match, she was firmly on top. We had been seeing Ami Sourei give these legends everything they could handle, being the bigger girl, the more powerful girl, but Suzu Suzuki was keeping up.
Right.
She was on top of it. And she eventually hit a suplex and then rolled her up into the tequila shot.
Yes.
For the win in about 11 and a half minutes to get herself to 8 points.
Exactly where she needs to be and what needs to happen on that, because Suzu is money.
Yes, and after this match, Suzu was funny. She was like, everyone going home, please stop for a second.
Yeah.
Because you know how they are. They all get up and immediately start going home.
Oh, I love it.
But Suzu felt really good after this match. She was loving the chants from the crowd where they were chanting her name, which is kind of a big departure from a Suzu from a year ago.
Right.
She wants to be the face of Stardom and the face of the wrestling world.
She is prominent now.
So, after that, third night in a row,
yes,
September 18th in Yamaguchi, we started with Mariah May and Waka Tsukiyama versus Ruaka and Starlight Kid. This was a 9.5 minute match of not very much going on.
It was what it was.
Yes, but Mariah May and Waka Tsukiyama grabbed the win with the Once Upon a Time roll up. So there's that. Kaguma and Hanan versus Saki Kashima and Mirai. Saki has been starting these matches more and more voluntarily, but she leaves very early after she starts them. There was
some comedy that actually works. Now, Saki is hilarious with this whole gimmick with her team.
Where she's scared.
And being At first, I didn't much like it. I do like the dynamic with her own team.
Yes.
It is funny.
It's the funniest with Mirai, I think, because I feel like Mirai is just like, what are you doing?
Mirai's such a perennial good guy.
Yeah.
And she's such a leader and such a okay, I'm fired up. Yes.
Yes, always smiling, and she's always in a good mood. But then you got her with this girl who's basically using cowardly heel tactics and like not wanting to wrestle.
Absolutely.
But Saki did try to get the Kish Kasai in this match, but got reversed into the Kuma roll. So Koguma and Hanan came out on top in this match. That shows her for using the Kish Kasai.
That's
so
it,
much.
man.
After that, we saw Saida and Hanako versus Micah and Megan Bayne once again. This started off with Hanan and Megan with a nice little handshake.
Yes.
They're very respectful. There was some locking up and going corner to corner, trying to overpower each other. But
Hanako and Megan, it's
amazing.
Give me the match.
It's the whole show, honestly.
Give me the match. That match is big girls doing big girl things.
Yes, and Saida got in on some of that too during this match. There were just 4 big girls in this match doing big girl things. And amazingly, Megan and Micah did a doomsday.
Yes. They did the doomsday device. And, it wasn't the flip over backwards, break your neck doomsday device, but it was still a doomsday device.
That's a long drop for most of these Stardom girls.
It is.
And we got to see the Michinoku driver too once more for a win in about 6 minutes.
Yes.
Then we got to see Mei Seira and Suzu Suzuki take on Yuna Zamori and Taim Nakano. Of course, Mei Seira and Suzu Suzuki are another team that are teaming up in Tag League. So we got to see them work together as we do.
Most excited about that team.
Yes, and there was a really cute moment at the very beginning of this match where May was in a waistlock, so she stomped on Tam's foot to get out of it, and then when she went to kick Tam in the back, she hurt her own foot.
Yes, it was great. It was great. And she does she pokes fun at herself, and that's one of the good parts about her. But this, psychology-wise, again, using the speed against the violence. Mm-hmm. She's just as violent, but she's just really fast with it. You get hit like 3 times to your 1.
Yes, and she's sweet about it while she's killing you. May and Suzu were definitely the more fluid team in this match, and they ended up getting the win with the tequila shot.
Yes.
In a 9-minute match. Pretty good match.
Suzu looks awesome.
After that, we saw Azumi and Utami Hayashishita take on Hazuki and Mayu Iwatani in what was the undercard match of the night. Absolutely.
Of the damn year, maybe? I don't know.
Yes, because we got Mayu and Utami who get in there and they're just so serious and so deliberate about everything they do, and it's mind-blowing.
I'm telling you, man, Mayu Iwatani and Hazuki against Utami Azumi, this could have been a main event anywhere in the world.
Yes.
And it should have been, maybe, because it was that good.
Yeah, it was. Like, we got a matchup between Hazuki and Azumi, which was like fireworks going off.
Yes.
And then Azumi was still in there when Mayu got in, and it was like someone set off a bomb.
Yeah.
It was so good. Every single matchup in this entire match was so good. And they eventually circled back to Mayu Iwatani and Utami Hayashishita, and Mayu hit a vicious frog splash off the top onto Utami. Utami countered that into an air raid crash. There was a lot of back and forth, but Mayu eventually hit the moonsault for the 1, 2, and then the bell rang.
Yeah.
For the time limit draw.
Yeah, it was very, very close. The thing was, that frog splash was heavy, man.
It was.
To be as light as she is, man, that was heavy.
It looked like it hurt.
It did
very badly.
We don't know what. And this is just as good as time as any because of what's coming up.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the news would be Utami Hayashishita is no longer, for this next match we're about to go over and for her following match, she had to forfeit.
Yes.
Due to injury. Now, on X, she did make a statement, and it just said that Utami Hayashishita had went too hard, and it didn't really give any details of an injury. Didn't even say the word injury.
No.
Just, please be behind her. Know that she'll be back better than ever.
Yes, the official statement said that she would not be wrestling on the 23rd or the 24th, which at this point have happened, but we haven't seen them. But it didn't make any mention of the 30th with the 5-star final, just that she had to forfeit her match against Mirai and her match against Hanan, which effectively takes her pretty much out of the running for winning this tournament.
I mean, it takes her completely out of the running, right?
Yes. Which is sad because it's Utami. You kind of want her to be there in the end. Like, is she going to do it?
And we were pretty sure she was going to be there in the end.
Mm-hmm. She was my heart pick.
Yeah. We were pretty confident that she was going to be there. It was all going to come down to that final night. It was all going to come down to some of these final bouts. Mm-hmm. And this one just, I think they had to scramble and change some things.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it's wrestling. It happens. This one just kind of hurt because, man, we're right there at the end. And, you know.
It did. It sucks that she's not going to get to wrestle her final 2 matches before the final, but I hope we still get to see Utami versus Julia on the final night. I'll be disappointed if we miss out on that.
Yeah, I really hope that match happens.
So in the main event of this show, we saw Natsupoi taking on Ami Sohrei in a very different match than we'd been seeing before, because Poi is a master at using her speed to escape from bigger opponents, and I think she really had the leg up here because she's used to being the smaller person.
Right,
in
absolutely.
the match. She knows what to do to counteract the size difference, which Tam and Mayu may not know because they're not exactly small people in Stardom. But Poi is always wrestling from underneath with her size.
Right.
So she understands what it takes to take on a person that's bigger than her, even if it's someone like Ami Sohrei, who's quite a bit bigger. She gave this all she had. It was not enough to get it done. After losing multiple nights in a row, Ami Sohrei finally got a win with like a thunderbolt in a 10-minute match, which was really good and saw Poi really throwing all she has at someone who had been crushing bigger opponents nights before.
Yeah. Honestly, I still thought this was a shocker.
It was a big shock.
Poi is at main event level right now. Mm-hmm. Poi has the poise. She has the everything.
She does.
She has the fans. She has everything. This was a surprise. I'm not, sad about it because I think there again, Ami Sohrei has really come on and is looking good, man. She's got some, big upside, and I think really the only thing that we really miss with her sometimes is it does seem like maybe a lack of the outward passion.
Right, yeah. Like she doesn't exactly exude like that.
The thing
same
we
feeling.
love about the ones we love,
yes,
are all ones who kind of give that that passion and everything about what they want, why they want it.
Yeah. The reason I love this match so much, though, is because in the past matches with Tam and Mayu, those two had to throw desperate moves out at the end of the match just to get the win. And Ami was in that position in this match. Natsupoi had her number. And in the end, it was just an act of crazy desperation and power that got her the win.
Absolutely.
So it was a really nice balance between what we've been seeing. It was a really good match. Our main event for this night was Mina Shirakawa versus Momo Watanabe.
What a match.
And this was wild because Momo actually attacked Mina during her dance.
Yes.
She was doing the Club Venus dance, and Momo just came out and was like, no, I'm mad. I'm mad about everything.
Which, I mean, makes sense with Momo, but this, I tell you, man, this kind of went off the rails, but
it did.
It became memorable because of that.
Yeah, absolutely, because Momo went for her normal shenanigans near the very beginning of this match, and it ended up with Mina Shirakawa getting busted open.
Yeah, she got hard way. She took the pole on the outside of the ring. Of course, they did the Oedo Tai stuff of throw them in these chairs and throw them in these chairs. And even when Shirakawa hit the first chairs, she landed in the chair. She didn't go flipping over. And we thought, we were sitting there and Roger's like, oh, that's kind of strange. I mean, just because it just had a weird feeling.
It looked weird.
It had a weird feeling. It just had a weird, strange ambiance. And then she took the pole and it was like, oh God, that looked kind of stiff. That looked kind of like she didn't protect herself or whatever. And then she kept touching her head, right?
Yes, like you do when you feel something going on.
And boy, howdy, she busted it open. We did not quite the Crimson Mask. You wouldn't have known that by how much she grabbed it, but she was definitely bleeding and probably cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Probably, but despite all that, she still did her best. She targeted the knee like she always does, looking for that figure four. At one point, Starlight Kid introduced the bat into the match, but Daichi caught them in the act. He was like, no, he was so mad.
Yeah.
The referee was so mad about this match. And she did get the figure 4 on eventually, but Momo grabbed the referee and threw him over top of Mina.
So unique, right? Because you don't have any ref bumps in Stardom normally, and they'll just allow shenanigans sometimes, ref discretion or whatever. But yeah, when she grabbed Daichi and used Daichi as a projectile.
It was insane. And I thought Mina was done for after that. After all of these crazy things going on, she managed to avoid a close call with the pin and almost gets run into the suitcase from Ruaka, but it actually hits Momo Watanabe.
Yes.
Instead, so all of their shenanigans backfired, and at 14 minutes and 7 seconds, we see the Glamorous Collection Mina.
Yes.
For the win for Mina Shirakawa, which is not going to make Momo any happier.
No, but, still yet, it was a really hard-earned victory.
Oh, yeah. She had to really fight through it for this one.
And it's at the end of the tournament. I mean, she has been through it, and you can really it's starting to wear on her.
Yeah, even after the match, she talked about no matter how battered or beaten she gets, she's still going to put on a hot fight.
Right.
And she does every single time we see her.
Absolutely.
She's got 2 matches left, and she's determined to win.
Yes, she's really given us, regardless of the opinion you may have of her one way or the other, she has definitely put on that passion. So this was a hard-earned, it wasn't the prettiest.
No,
but
by no means.
But it was definitely memorable.
It was. It was one of the
except for Mina
standout
Shirakawa,
ones.
she'll never remember this match because she fought with a concussion.
Loopy.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the 20th of September in Osaka, which is always a fun time. We started this night off with a 4-way match where Yuna Mizumori took on Amisori and Saki Kajima and Mirai. And of course, this was funny because 3 of those people are in the same faction.
Yes.
And Yuna Mizumori is not one of them.
It's like Mizumori didn't figure it out until the match was starting.
They rang the bell and she looked around like, oh.
And, it was a great moment because Saki Kashima came up and she's like, no,
we friends.
It's okay. We'll have a fair fight. And, Mina was like, she was like, we'll have a fair fight.
Yeah, we'll shake hands.
Awesome. And then it was just... because, Saki's got a Saki. So she pulled her in, and of course, her buddies, well, what else should they do? They did...
What else are the New Era's going to do?
They did double team, and...
Of course, Saki tried to pull one over on both Mirai and Ami whenever they were
so
focused
funny.
on each other. Then she'd run and hide when they looked around.
So funny, because they had their back to her, and she would roll them up, and then there was one moment where she did a roll-up, and it was on Mirai. Mirai gets up like, what? She kicks out of the two.
Looking around like, what?
Saki looked around like, who did that?
It was hilarious.
It was really fun stuff. This was some of the, for a nothing match. This was
5-minute match.
5-minute match thrown together. Was supposed to be a 3-way. They had to add Mirai to it because of the injury to Otami.
Yes.
But it kicked off the show, got it started on a fun way to sort of make the fans not feel as bad.
Right. They're like, we're giving you something really fun here.
Yeah, you get to see Mirai anyway and got some, a lightheartedness going on. So I think it was cool they did that.
Cute little God's Eye moments. After that, we got to see Saya Ida, Hanan, and Mayu Iwatani take on Mina Shirakawa, Hanako, and Waka Tsukiyama. And I think one of the highlights of this match was definitely Hanako doing the Club Venus dance.
Yes.
On the way to the ring.
Yes. If you want to see something cute, all right, this is what you need to see because I think she did a damn good job of remembering it.
She did, but Mayu, she likes that frog splash now.
She does. She does. She's got my favorite moonsault since Great Muta.
Oh, the moonsault killed Hanako in this one.
I think that, that was... Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But
it was brutal.
I love her moonsault normally, and her frog splash is pretty damn deadly. But there was something with her this time that just, I don't know, man. She
seemed a little off.
She seemed a little off. Like sometimes you see her and she seems a little pissed off.
Right.
She seemed pissed off to me on this match.
There was a bit of a weird vibe the whole night, and I don't know if it's because of the changes, because of the injuries, or it's the alleged injuries. People. Maybe.
If stuff goes sideways, Iwatani's just like...
I mean, she's the Stardom icon. If something's going on in her company, maybe she just feels it.
Good point.
But she did kill Hanako on the moonsault to get this win in 7.5 minutes.
Because she hit her with her knees.
She did. She came down with the legs instead of the tummy.
But she did reach out after the match and ask her if she's okay and said she was sorry for hitting her with the knees, but I don't believe her. I love her, but
she's just trying to save face.
But I told you when she was climbing that she's way too far out.
Yeah, she was very far out. After that, we saw Mei Seira, Suzu Suzuki, and Megan Bayne, the best team.
Yes.
Take on Ruaka, Momo Watanabe, and Natsuko Tora. And this was just good fun. You know, Mei Seira and Megan Bayne always have their fun together. They did try to suplex Megan in this match. It was Natsuko Tora and Ruaka trying to do a double suplex, and Megan reversed it into a double suplex of her own. That was kind of dicey, especially on Ruaka's end.
Yes, we thought she killed Ruaka. So.
But this ended up with Megan throwing May out to get rid of the Oedo Tai interference and then hitting the choke bomb for the win in 7.5 minutes.
Yes.
These matches were very fast. This night went by so fast.
Oh my God. So it was done on a Wednesday night, right?
Right.
But they start the card at 6:30 local time.
Mm-hmm.
And the card was done a little after 8.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half maybe. For the entire card.
It's insane.
For reasons that add to it in these tournament matches.
We'll get to it, but first we
have to talk about Maiko versus Mariah May. Because this was a great match. Mariah came out strong, I think, trying to get one over on Maiko before she could do anything to her in return. She got those chops in. She got in a drop kick to the back that was just brutal.
She did get all that in, but Micah was hilarious because Micah talks through the whole thing.
She does.
She always does. One of the things I like about her, but she's doing Mariah May has the chops in the corner. Set your opponent up on the top, and she licks her hands, and she does a double chop to the breast, and it was like, man.
She was so mad.
Oh my God.
It was almost like she's like, what? Why? Why did you do that to me?
Yeah, Micah's like, oh, no, you know.
This was yet another match where Mariah May was unable to get her outside powerbomb because Micah held on to the ropes, so Micah hit her with her running lariat off the apron instead. There was a really cool moment where they had a double knockdown, which turned into them throwing forearms from the knees and slowly rising up to their feet while still throwing forearms. Micah kicked out of the Once Upon a Time, and then there was a backdrop suplex, and Mariah was visibly frustrated by this point because Micah kept kicking out of everything that she threw at her. And that frustration allowed Micah to eventually get the upper hand, hit a power slam, and then the Michinoku driver too for the win in 9 minutes.
Yes.
It was fun.
It was fun, but it was also pretty... I mean, I don't think Mike was ever in jeopardy.
No, it didn't seem like it. Mariah May didn't really get off any of her super big moves in this match.
I never felt at one time she was in jeopardy.
No, and they did do a cute little pinky promise moment after the match. It kind of feels like with these after-match moments that maybe people are saying goodbye in their own way after their singles matches with Mariah. But, of course, we won't know that until we know.
We don't know.
After this... we got a match of sorts between Azumi and Julia.
Story. This could go into the overall arc of Julia.
Yes, Julia's overall attitude.
Yes. Man, what a match.
This was insane because it started with a handshake, or a wanted handshake, turned into a Canadian destroyer.
Vicious.
A pile driver, a backdrop suplex, and then the Azumi Sushi for the pin in 55 seconds.
55 seconds. Azumi goes out and gets the stopwatch just to show.
She showed it.
It's 55 seconds. Julia went insane.
Oh my God. She was so mad.
She went insane.
Cool, collected Julia lost her ever-loving mind.
Yeah, she went crazy. Azumi loved it.
She chased the ref out of the ring.
And yeah, but... then we had a little guest show up.
We did, yes. After Azumi left, Ami Sori came out and was like, Julia, calm down for a second. I want to talk to you. And she wants a shot at the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Right. And Julia was kind of like, no, what have you done to earn a shot at my championship? Yeah. How have you been doing in the 5-star exactly? And you can tell she's still mad. And
Ami brought up, what did Momo do?
Right. And what did Momo Kogo do to get that match? I actually don't know why that match happened.
Yeah. And, Julia what I seen in this was, how Julia has always taken the one who wants to move up.
Yes. Under her wing.
Did you think about it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So Julia, her whole story arc since the day she came into Stardom has been taking those who don't really threaten her, I guess.
They don't shine quite as brightly.
Right. And so she's
surrounding herself with them.
Yeah, she surrounds herself with them, but she's doing something good for them. She's pulling them up. And
right, she's giving them a push by being with her.
It wasn't quite there, but I almost seen her wheels turning.
Yeah, she's like looking at Amisori like, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe. But she did still refuse the match. She said she would accept it if Amisori would show her that she has passion for the title, because Amisori talked about how she needs a change and maybe this title could do it. But I think Julia was offended by that notion because she doesn't think that NJPW Strong Women's title is a trigger belt for someone to launch their career
She said, guys like you. She's like, I don't see this being a trigger for you guys.
She wants this to be the most important title in the company, which tracks with Julia's attitude.
Right.
She wants to be on top and have matches that'll put her on the top of the card. She doesn't want matches with people that are just trying to start their career off right.
But this puts her in a very interesting spot as Julia.
It does.
Because she's got jobbed.
Yeah, she did. She did just get pinned in 55 seconds by Azumi.
So
who is she to say that Amisori isn't ready for a title match?
Interesting.
It's very interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with this.
Me too.
After that, we saw Tam Nakano versus Shuri. These two were so serious. They stood in the ring and just looked at each other for a minute, and then they just started this very deliberate pace of back and forth.
It's important to note that Tam has never beat Shuri.
Exactly.
So this is, you got the former red belt champion against the current red belt champion. There's so much here. The stakes are so high. They couldn't be bigger, honestly, because of everything. Not just the red belt, not just the future of the red belt, not just the 5-star, but really the face of Stardom.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Tam sees Shuri as this obstacle that she's never overcome.
Right.
And Shuri sees Tam with that red belt and that she wants that back.
Yeah.
So these two, the importance of this match for both of them was just off the charts, and they
fought like it.
Laid it in.
Yeah.
Constantly from start to finish. They fought for 13 and a half minutes and did not put on the brakes at all.
No.
This match is worth watching.
Oh, yeah.
If you're looking for a tournament match to watch, Tam versus Shuri is one that stands out.
I mean, the violence is there. There's times in this match when you really think, honestly, there's times when Shuri seemed like she was gone.
Absolutely.
Seemed like she was choked out.
Yeah.
There's a moment when she puts a reverse triangle, Tam does on Shuri, and it really
she had to struggle for it.
Like it seemed like she wasn't going to get to the ropes. And it wasn't just your normal not get to the ropes. It was Tam actually readjusted.
Yeah, it was like holding the arm up for the 3 count.
it was so good. And there was a couple of moments like that, really.
Yeah, and after the fact, Shuri was so desperate that she goes back to the thing she knows best, those kicks.
Yeah.
Kicks straight to the chest. But Tam ended up getting her into a position where she was able to hit her running knees from all 4 sides of the ring.
My God, yeah.
And then she hits one final knee, and then the violet screwdriver for the win. And they were both emotional. Shuri was crying after this, and it wasn't because of Tam Nakano.
She was crying so much that the tears you could see them falling.
Yeah. And it wasn't because of Tam necessarily and losing to Tam. She went straight for that red belt.
Yeah.
She put her hand on it. She leaned down and put her forehead to it because she knows that not winning this match means, when's the next time she's going to get a shot?
She would have to win the 5-star.
She would, which is still possible.
It is possible, but I think the belt never felt further away from her.
Oh, it's so sad.
Even though she had her lips on it, it could not be further away.
I think Tam understood that too. She didn't shove her away or seem upset about the reaction. Because she's never been able to beat her, and she said that after the match, that this is the first time she's ever beaten Shuri, which is a huge deal.
And she put her over as the ultimate strong one, that she is the strongest, and that she is so strong.
Yeah, that's a good win for anyone.
But Tam has developed into this champion because champions find a way. They just do. And when you're on your game, you're going to find the way. You're going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to persevere and take that beating. And
absolutely,
you know, Sherry is she on the downside of her career now? Has she reached that? I think there's a little realization in that as well.
Right.
You know, when you've got these people, even in your own group, that are just, they can't stop rising.
They're
like
surpassing
Mariah,
you.
You know, and Mariah is probably at this moment in time surpassed her.
Yeah, I mean, it shows when they come out as a faction and they come out to Mariah's music instead of Sherry's. I mean, that's a big deal.
It's never easy.
It's not. And I don't think Sherry takes it in the same way as Julia does, where she feels slighted or something. I think she just feels sad.
It's just hard to accept. And we don't see it very often. You're right. Out of her, at those moments, it's a human element that you just can't.
She's so supportive of everyone and her team and everyone in Stardom. But when it's her personally losing this match, where she could have gotten a chance to go for the red belt again, it just hits her and she can't hold it in.
And this is exactly the reason. That I love Stardom.
Yeah.
Because you don't write that on paper. That wasn't written down.
No.
They didn't go over that moment. They didn't go over that part. I don't have to be in the back to tell you that. They had their finish or whatever, but they didn't go over that. And it's that emotion that these girls get.
Yeah.
That moment, that passion they truly have, because you can't not have that.
It's everything to them.
And the pain they go through, the sacrifice they go through to perform their art. And it is absolutely art.
Yes.
To perform their art is unmatched. I can't think of anything else on this planet that you do that is so thankless.
Right.
As compared to what the Joshi women go through and sacrifice and do for this, and it's only a little blip of their life, they get to be really truly be on top.
Right.
And it just, at that moment, it just kind of felt like, oh God, you know, because you look back 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, you couldn't stop saying Sherry just enough, you know. And I hope that that's not over. I hope this is just a blip.
I don't think she's done by any means.
And she proves it at the 5-star. Like, if I had a heart pick at this moment, it would definitely be Sherry. Yeah,
well, she's one of the few that still has 2 matches left. As it stands right now, where we're at, we still have 9 people who could possibly win the 5-star Grand Prix out of 20, which is Tam Nakano, Sherry, Suzu Suzuki, Hazuki, Natsuka Tora, Julia, Maika, Mina Shirakawa, and Mirai.
My God.
Those are the choices.
It's a murderer's row.
It is. And we have no idea what's going to happen, because I could see any of these people coming out on top. A few of them do still have 2 matches left, because we have a show on the 23rd where Hazuki's taking on Suzu Suzuki and Maika is taking on Mina Shirakawa. Mayu Iwatani is getting her complimentary 2 points on that night. And then on the 24th, we just have Sherry versus Starlight Kid, which, amazing anyway.
And you'll know all about it right after WrestleDream. So
yes, we're going to come right back here and tell you everything that happened and blew our mind at the 5-star final, and who came out on top and what it means for the future of the red belt and all that good stuff, as well as what happens at WrestleDream, at NXT No Mercy, all that good stuff. We are keeping up with this women's wrestling because we love it so much, and we hope you do too. So thank you so much for listening and for supporting us and following us on social media at Wrestling Is Her, wherever you like to see all of your social media stuff. I'm Raja, and he's John, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.